All right, hello everybody. Today I'm going to take a look at crude oil in the light of cycles. And I think you're going to find this really interesting. I'm going to just start with the fact that crude oil is a market that I'm looking to enter long based on my commitment to traders strategy. We've had one entry trigger already based on the divergence entry strategy that I use. We're still waiting on the 18 moving average and the moving average channel entries. But I'm not going to go into the nuts and bolts of the commitment to traders strategy today. I've got a lot of videos on my channel which go into why I think things should go up or down. So let's look at cycles. I'm going to open up Timing Solution. And this is a piece of software that is really, really cool. So here I've got a chart of crude oil. First thing we're going to look at is this red line. So I was in a webinar with Larry Williams a few weeks ago, and he showed this technique that he found for calling market moves in the oil market, and I think it's super powerful. So what he did was he found that the Dow Jones Arabia Titans 50 market, if you take the price action of that market and move it forward 84 days, basically the price swings kind of can predict with a decent amount of accuracy price swings in the oil market. Okay, so basically what I did was, this is an intermarket analysis. I added Dow Jones Arabia Titans 50. I asked the computer to find the optimal lag, which it found to be 84 days. I'm not sure what Larry found, but I just asked the computer to find the statistically best one. So I'm going to zoom back, and you're going to see the red line is the Arabia 50. Okay, and the black is price action of oil. So we can see it does a pretty good job of calling highs, lows, highs, lows, highs. More recently, called this low early of 2024. End of 2023, early 2024. The rally till April. And then what's interesting about it right now is we have a low point being suggested for oil to go up until mid-October. And what I like about that is on my commitment to trader strategy, I found that the true seasonal of oil, based on Larry Williams' true seasonal indicator, is to be up until mid-October. So there's a nice confluence with cycle and true seasonal trend. So that's really interesting. What else? Well, here we have the annual cycle, and the annual cycle for oil is very potent. It's very doesn't work all the time, but it's pretty decent. So we see here mid-September up until mid-October. Again, doesn't that nicely line up with this Arabia 50 for oil to rally till mid-October? Okay, so that's great. Now here I have an intermarket analysis of the most similar years of price action in oil. So what this did is I asked the computer to find the most similar years of price action, and I can make a composite of the three most similar years, or I can choose to just look at the most similar year, which in this case was 2019. So what we can see in years where price had very similar magnitude moves and price swings, we can see it was pretty similar to 2019. And what we notice is right around mid-September actually the end of September, we have a rally in oil. So that's not exactly in alignment with the other two things we looked at, but it's still decent. Now here is a cycle. This is based on permanent economic cycles. I asked the computer which are the strongest cycles. We like to see cycles with really strong thin peaks. And what I did was I found for the longer term cycles, the 519-day and the 460-day cycles, I asked the computer to find the best combination of the different overtones and stock memory and different things, the way this computer calculates it. I asked the computer to find the best, most correlated cycles, and that's what this composite pink line is. So we see cyclical low is expected sometime here in July, early August. Didn't time it very well, but we can expect some sort of upward move in a high to be sometime mid-November based on this cycle. Okay. Here we have, this is based on my temporary cycles, I found this 228-day cycle to be the best. What we can see is that there should be a cyclical low sometime in September, heading up into mid to end of October, early November. So that's nice, supportive of our long thesis for oil. And lastly, I'm going to look at the decennial pattern. So if you're familiar with the decennial pattern, it's basically finding years that end in the same number that the current year is in. So in this case, 2024, we're looking at 4 years that end in the year 4. Okay. So what we see is the decennial pattern is pretty strong for price to rally sometime mid or early September up until end of September, early October. So again, pretty nice confluence for our long thesis based on commitment to trader strategy. So we have these lines here. None of these line up. I asked the computer to find statistically annual predictable zones is what this program calls it. And I type into the computer, I ask it to find me trades that last a minimum of 5 days up to 150 days with a minimum 75% win rate. And we can see there's nothing to the long side right now, which, I would have liked to have seen that, but there's enough really great confluences, as you can see, with this Arabia 50, with the annual cycle, and with the composite of the similar years, and also the general cycle being up right now until mid-November. So, and then the decennial. So we have a lot of reasons to like going long on oil right now. I'll just go back to my computer screen here with the trading view charts. One thing that I did find was that oil did trigger into a long on the divergence strategy. So that's one of 3 of my favorite and what I consider to be the safest entry techniques, the ones that have the highest win rate and the smallest number of false signals, which preserves your mental capital. The more losses you take along the way, it gets harder to actually make sure you take the trade the next time. So I like entries that maybe don't catch the perfect bottom, but they get you in a good trend. And so that's what I'm looking at on oil. Commitment to trader suggests, and my analysis suggests, we should see a decent move up. Cycle suggests we should see a decent move up. Nice confluence. If you have any questions about how I use the timing solution software or how I did the cycle analysis in general, you can feel free to shoot me a message. Hope you guys had a great start to your week, and good luck and good trading.